Since you talked about this before, you've had quite a lot of trolling, haven't you, on social media, and quite a tough time. So you said, I want to come and talk about this because you still say you stand by that decision.
I do stand by my decision. I think for me, it's about family balance as well. You know, I totally understand why there's two sides to the story. Some people don't agree with it, some people do. But I just think for me, I've always wanted that little baby girl, and I think, why should it be any different? I love my boys and I'm so thankful that I've got them, and I wouldn't change them for the world. My house is a crazy house, but they even keep saying to me, why? Mummy, is our little baby sister in there yet? And I'm like, no, that's just my food. And I just don't know why people... I understand they've got opinions, but why judge me?
What is the biggest criticism that people are throwing at you, that you should just be grateful you've got 4 children at all, when there are people that can't?
And there is people that can't have children, and I totally sympathise. I couldn't imagine being in that situation, you know, because I've got 4 beautiful boys and I love them and I live for my kids. But
why do you think you want a girl so desperately? What is it about having a girl? I mean, you know, a baby is a beautiful gift, to have a healthy baby. I think it's the fact that of just being able to bring up that little girl, and I've got an amazing relationship with my mum, and I want to have that with my daughter. I love that family.
But don't you think you'll get that with your boys?
They are so loving. Boys are so loving, but I think as they grow up, they go off and do their own things. But I know what my brother's like with his mum. Like, it's just like that. Boys go off, they get girlfriends, and they go off and play football and do whatever. And I think for me and my mum, I call my mum like 10 times a day.
Do you worry about the risks of that kind of treatment?
Yeah, and I'm not saying 100% I'm actually gonna go ahead with it, but I've got a lot of investigating to do first. Like,
have you been doing your research into it?
Well, I've done little bits and pieces. Obviously, I've just had a baby, so he's my main concern at the moment. But I was looking into it today, and in America, it is legalised there, but...
It's illegal here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's illegal here, but in America, basically, if you go to your doctor and say, I want a little baby boy, for instance, you have to explain to them why it is that you want a boy. If you just said, I just want boys and that's it, they would say no, because they don't see that as an ethical reason. Whereas
so what ethical reason have you got for wanting a girl?
I just want that balance, that family balance, and I think in America that's what they say.
But then that's like creating a perfect family, though, isn't it? Which is what people have problem with. Saying it's like it's messing with nature, and saying, you know, the next thing you say, well, what will the next thing be? Next time I want a girl, but she has to have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, but obviously for me, I just want my family to be complete, and I don't know, do I carry on having babies? Like, do I end up with 10 boys? Like, I don't want to end up with loads.
But do you want a girl so desperately in your life that if you didn't go down this route, you would keep having a baby until you got a girl? Would you be dissatisfied? Because I know somebody said once to my dad...
I'd probably have babies the rest of my life. Like, I love having babies.
You've talked about that you actually feel... I mean, I can identify with what you're saying, because all my life I wanted daughters. I passionately wanted girls. And I was lucky enough to have girls. And you talk about that you feel lonely in a house full of boys. And I don't necessarily agree with what you're thinking of doing, but I can understand your sentiment.
Yeah,
I can understand that longing.
When I say I feel lonely, I don't feel... like, as in a sense, like, I'm alone, I'm the only girl in the house. Like, I'm not alone, because my boys give me so much love, and they're so loving, boys. I know you've got boys, they're so cuddly, and
do you
Mummy,
think gender defines what life is? I mean, when you think about your children, they're your children no matter what.
Yeah.
Do you think that having a girl will be a completely different kind of child?
It will be, because it'll be a different experience for me to...
will it?
But she could turn out to be a complete tomboy, and
she probably will with 4 older brothers.
But you know what? I think, and it's an interesting question. I think why I craved having girls so much because I didn't have many boys around me in my family when I was growing up. So I think I had a bit of fear. I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to bring up a boy? I hadn't even... And you're very right, you know, it's just really, it doesn't make any difference. You love them and they love you back. And but I understand the ache. I do understand.
Well, how does your partner feel about it?
He does want a little girl as well. It was crazy because this morning he said to me, well, I actually wanted 4 babies. And I know he's inherited 3, and I was like, well, this will be the last one. And my body can't take any more.
It's hard as well when, you know, I do sympathise because when you come together as 2 families, Joe's got a child and I've got 2 children and they're all boys. So a part of us is like, oh, if it's a girl, then the boys won't be too jealous and the dynamics. So I get the sentiment and the thought around it, but I don't know if I could go through with
it. And
choosing
that's exactly how I feel. I don't know once I actually get there or investigate more whether I'll go through with it, but it is something I'm definitely considering.
What about people that would say, well, it's just selfish because you shouldn't mess with nature? You know, you should just be happy that you have, if you had another baby, that it would be a healthy baby.
As long as, I know, and a lot of people do say that. Obviously, like, as long as the baby's healthy, then it shouldn't matter. But I just think everyone's going to have their opinions, but it's something that I want to do. It's my life, and why can I not make myself happy?